Welcome, architects and developers. Today, we are shifting gears from basic prompting to building robust, production-grade autonomous systems using the Claude Agent SDK. Let us dive in. Let us start by understanding what the Claude Agent SDK actually is. At its core, the SDK provides the architecture to transition from a simple request and response chatbot into a fully autonomous agentic system. Why is this critical? Because real-world workflows require an AI that can plan a strategy, take actions using tools, observe the results, and make independent decisions to proceed. The SDK handles the heavy lifting of this control flow automatically. As we dive deeper today, we will explore the foundational pillars of production-grade agents, including orchestration, session state, and programmatic hooks. This diagram illustrates the core conceptual shift. Instead of a linear response, the user's request triggers an iterative agentic loop. The agent plans, acts, uses a tool, observes the results, and loops back. It only breaks out to deliver the final output when the task is completely resolved. The engine driving your agent is the agentic loop. During this loop, you provide tools, and Claude decides whether to use them or reply to the user. But how do you know when Claude is actually done? The absolute most critical concept here is the stop reason field. If the stop reason is tool use, Claude is telling you it needs to take an action, so you execute the tool, append the result, and continue the loop. If it says end turn, the job is done. A massive anti-pattern to avoid is trying to parse the text for phrases like, I am done, or relying on iteration caps. Always rely deterministically on the stop reason. Looking at this flowchart, you can easily visualize the control flow. Every API response leads to a decision point checking the stop reason. A tool use signal loops us through execution and appending, seamlessly feeding back into the API. An end turn safely exits the loop. As your tasks grow in complexity, a single agent will struggle. This brings us to multi-agent orchestration using a hub-and-spoke architecture. Here, a central coordinator acts as the manager, using a special task tool to spawn highly specialized subagents. For example, one subagent handles web search while another analyzes code. The golden rule here is context isolation. Never dump the coordinator's entire conversation history into a subagent. It wastes tokens and causes hallucinations. Instead, pass only the exact, explicit context that the subagent needs to perform its specific duty. Furthermore, you can trigger these subagents in parallel to drastically reduce latency. Here we see the hub-and-spoke model in action. The central coordinator agent sits at the top, dispatching parallel requests using the task tool to isolated subagents. The subagents do their focused work and return their findings back to the hub, where the final output is cleanly synthesized. Now let us talk about safety and compliance. When you have strict business rules, like preventing unauthorized refunds, you cannot simply write "do not issue large refunds" in a system prompt. Prompts are probabilistic and might be ignored. Instead, you must use hooks. Hooks provide deterministic, programmatic enforcement. A pre-tool use hook intercepts a tool call before it happens, allowing you to instantly block invalid parameters. A post-tool use hook intercepts the output to normalize data or block dangerous results. When the exam or your security team asks how to enforce critical rules, the answer is always programmatic hooks. This diagram showcases the secure execution flow. A tool call hits a pre-tool use hook first. If it violates policy, it is instantly blocked. If allowed, the tool executes. The output then passes through a post-tool use hook for normalization before returning the final safe result. In production, conversations run long, and context degradation becomes a serious risk. If your agent's context window gets cluttered, it will forget early instructions. To handle this, the SDK offers powerful session management tools. You can use the resume flag to seamlessly pick up an old, named session with its history intact. Better yet, if you need to explore a risky alternative path, you can use fork session. Forking creates an isolated branch that will not pollute your main conversational state. And to fight degradation, rely on Scratchpad files to persist crucial findings externally, and use /compact to reclaim token space when things get noisy. Here we visualize session management. The main context can be resumed to continue the primary task directly. Alternatively, we can use fork session to branch into isolated exploration. Notice the dotted line. The isolated exploration does not feed its noise back into the main context. Let us tie this together with a real-world use case, a customer support resolution agent handling highly ambiguous billing disputes. To build this reliably, we use our hub-and-spoke architecture to route queries to a specialized billing subagent. If the subagent decides to issue a refund, it calls the process refund tool. Immediately, a programmatic hook intercepts this call. If the refund is over the $500 limit, the hook deterministically blocks it and triggers an escalation. Importantly, we only escalate based on objective criteria like policy limits or explicit human requests. We never escalate simply because a customer expresses negative sentiment, as sentiment does not equal task complexity. In this real-world flow, a customer's request goes to the coordinator, which delegates to the billing subagent. The subagent attempts a refund, hitting our policy hook. The hook evaluates the amount. Exceeding limits routes deterministically to a human, otherwise it processes autonomously. To wrap up, let us review the critical anti-patterns you must avoid. Never try to control your agentic loop by parsing text. Always use the deterministic stop reason. Never trust a prompt to enforce a financial or security rule. Always use programmatic hooks. When working with multi-agent systems, explicitly pass isolated context. Do not share the entire conversation history. And finally, rely on objective triggers for escalation, completely ignoring sentiment analysis or self-reported confidence. Mastering these architectural patterns will ensure your deployments are secure and reliable. I invite you to like, subscribe, and visit quicktechie.com for premium certification prep, including Q&A banks, full ebooks, audiobooks, full-length training, and interview guides. Thank you for joining. This final chart summarizes our pillars of reliability. A production-ready system requires explicit scoped context, strict stop-reason loop control, unbreakable hook enforcement, and objective escalation metrics. Together, these form the foundation of a reliable agent architecture.
Welcome to quicktechie.com. So just type in quicktechie.com here. Then you can go through the material which is provided by Quicktechie. So we have first of all video courses which you can go here and you can find the various video courses across the technologies as well as finance domain. So if you see in Microsoft, we have 8 programs currently running. Next, you can go through the ebooks available. So all the ebooks which are in PDF format today, and you can download this. So let me go through Microsoft certification ebooks. You can click on any of this and you can see this is the PDF available for you to download. So these are the premium ebook mostly available on quicktechie.com platform only. Now the second part is exam simulator. As we primarily focus on the all technology companies and finance domain certification preparation material. So this is company wide listed here and you can go through this. So let me go through the Microsoft one again. You can see this is all Microsoft related certification. AB 730 exam, if you open it, so you can see here this and all the practice papers are available here. Today we have 5 practice paper. So click on the first practice paper. It would load the questions. You can answer this question. This is way you can answer it and you can move to the next question. Now third material we wanted to highlight is an audiobook. So we started recently with the audiobooks as well, which you can listen on the go, and various technology wise ebooks are available. And at the last, this is our alumni. These people who are subscribing to our courses and this platform, they are all listed here. And at the end, I wanted to tell you, if you find any course or training or certification preparation material which you want to get us prepare for yourself, please put on the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, on Udemy, or on this platform itself, quicktechie.com, then please put the comment, or you can even send an email to using this contact us options here. You can directly do the WhatsApp message. You can call us on this numbers as well.